Hey there, everyone. It is currently the 6th of September 2016. And how about this? Our 13th named storm system of the year. And you can just see it out here, located just towards the southwest of Okinawa. Actually, kind of pretty hard to tell where it is on the satellite imagery. But if we pull up radar out of this area, general rotation here, and it's located just towards the northwest of Okinawa Honto, and actually right in the right front quadrant where the eye wall quotes I'm kind of making here would be is right around Naha. And that's why at this time actually Naha has been reporting winds upwards about 60 to 65 knots. That's gusting near typhoon strength there, by the way. Sustained winds around 30 to 40 knots. You can see there just towards the southwest of Naha, 20 meters per second. So some pretty intense winds out there, and that is why the Japan Meteorological Agency went ahead with this low pressure area, and they were like, this is a tropical storm. Now, I emphasize that because that's what JMA is saying right now. Tropical storm Malou, 35 gusting to 50 knots. Now, as I just mentioned, winds have actually been reported higher than that, so I'm sure on the next update, which is coming out relatively soon after making this, I expect these winds to even be higher than what JMA is saying at this time. But I emphasize that because JTWC has not put out any warnings on this, not even a CFA. Yet alone a tropical depression or a tropical storm, which I find rather surprising. I do have to wait a little bit for their next update. But the big key thing is that because since Okinawa, the military there really just depends on what JTWC says, and by what their rules are, they're not even supposed to really check JMA. Yeah, there is no tropical warnings in place. So if you are out here, you're probably feeling these winds, which in Naha, as I mentioned, gusting up to about 60 knots. No T-cores have been issued. Shogun Weather.com, the Kadena local forecast, actually has the forecast way under what is expected out here. Actually, 34 more miles per hour is their max they're expecting with a gust, which is actually around 30 knots. But if we check out Kadena, and seeing winds well above that, gusting around 40 to 45 knots. Now, I emphasize all of that because I always stress, always check with the local meteorological agency in whatever country you are in. If you are visiting that area or living from abroad, it doesn't matter if it's Japan or Australia or anywhere like that. Always check with the local guys. They know what they're really talking about the best here. And right now, as you can see, even at Kadena, 43 knots, in southern parts of the island above 60 knots. Let's check why is it so windy and how long is that wind going to be lasting? Well, remember that our low-level circulation, as I shown on radar a little bit earlier, is located just towards the west of Okinawa here. So that's really putting a tight pressure gradient just towards the southeast between a high pressure area down here towards the southeast. This is really not a well-defined tropical system. By no means is it a beautiful typhoon, but it is tropical in nature. It does have kind of a barotropic structure, so that's why we do have a tropical storm here. But the big thing is just that tight pressure gradient towards the southeast. Expecting that to last basically through the rest of Tuesday evening, but overnight hours, it should start to taper off, vastly improving as we go ahead through Wednesday. Still scattered showers throughout the day on Wednesday, but the winds are definitely going to lessen up quite nicely for those of you across Okinawa and the Amami Islands. I'll get to the forecast for Tokyo in a second. Do want to show you what JMA is expecting for the max weather here, and max rainfall about 200 millimeters, or that's about 8 inches. So that could cause some localized pooling of water. We're talking about low-lying areas or where water really tends to gather around here. Winds 83 gusting to 126 or 45 gusting to 68. We have already seen that. And also max waves about 6 meters high. So if you do think today might be an interesting day to go check out the beach, if you remember, actually 2 years ago, several military members in northern Okinawa died because they got washed out to sea doing exactly that. They went to check it out, take some pictures, and got washed out. So I highly do not recommend doing that. Just stay indoors, ride this one out if you can, let it go by. Tomorrow's going to be a much better day. By then, this storm is going to continue to track towards the northeast. Kyushu, Shikoku is really going to be hit by this, but also around the Kii Peninsula, I think that you're going to be seeing some fairly heavy rainfall, and even over towards the Tokyo area. Now, if we take a look at the forecast, JMA does not expect this to max out. Much stronger than a severe tropical storm around the Izu Islands. That's enough to really blow some things around, but I think the biggest threat is going to be the rain. It's not just because of this storm, but remember we had 4 other storms hit this exact area over the past several weeks. So really, central and northern Tokyo is exceptionally waterlogged. Many rivers are already above their normal stage right now. You get any more rain, and as you can see right here, actually about 10 to 20 inches expected across parts of the Key Peninsula and western Kanto. That really could surge some rivers up here, and we could even see some river flooding as well. Maybe the possibility of landslides there in western Kanto. So this is something we really want to watch out for. Now the track could waver a little bit over the coming days. This is all running around the monsoonal trough though, so really tracking towards the northeast, just kind of skirting the country, is the most likely scenario. Really something to watch out for over the coming days if you are out there in Tokyo. For now though, yeah, just hunker down, let the wind pass. Okinawa Typhoon Picks and Information has been putting out some great stuff throughout the day today. They check JMA as well and a lot of those local warnings, and they have really just been letting people know, you know, the basic things to prepare for a typhoon in Okinawa. It should always be done anytime you hear of a slight chance of a storm system. The thing I often say is that actually in Okinawa, at the beginning of the year, the military house goes to T-Core 3, or excuse me, 4, around June into July. Because the threat of a tropical system really could pop up anytime in the next 72 hours out here, especially in the East China Sea, and impact any specific area. And that's why they always leave it at that T-core position. So something to keep in mind if you do live across this area. Always try to keep things almost typhoon ready. Don't just leave things scattered around your yard and you might be caught off guard. Anyways, that is all for me. Just some friendly advice. There's your low-level circulation on the visible satellite imagery. Pretty cool image, I think. Here you can really see where all the moisture is. The left side of the storm, pretty sparse, really dry. The worst of it, unfortunately, is impacting these islands. If it was located, let's say, about 500 kilometers towards the southeast, you would be in this area if you were in Okinawa, and it would be an absolutely beautiful day out there, but it's not the case this time. So, all right, stay safe out there, guys, and as always, thanks for watching.